Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Power Up Project. My name is Jason Tharp. I am your resident brain cancer survivor. I am a keynote speaker. I'm an author and I'm an illustrator, and I'm here to help you by providing a power up. What I ask in return is that you give me a power up back. Make sure you share this. Let people know that this thing exists. Share it on social media. If you get anything out of this, just tap that like and let everybody know about it. And this is how we're going to have a huge impact in the world, because we're not about shrinking down to places that we no longer belong. We're striving to become a better version of ourselves and to unlock our true potential, unlock our true selves. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today, is this idea of overcoming self-doubt and embracing your growth. And this has been something that's fairly new to me, if I'm being completely honest, where I've struggled with. And it wasn't like I didn't know it, but I guess what I've been able to do is put a name to it now and understand and recognize within myself what is one of these things that I have been struggling with, which is this idea of playing down to where you were when you've evolved to the next level. And I think that we know how this works, right? Let's just use a hypothetical. Let's say that you're somebody that is striving to do something different. And then all of a sudden, your friend group will start to kind of poke at those things. And they'll say stuff like, oh, you think you're going to be able to do that. And oh, you're now going to do this. And oh, look at you, Mr. Good, too good for whatever. They do all those things because, one, that you're making them uncomfortable, because your change is weird and they don't understand it. And I think for a lot of us, we struggle with that because our good old friend self-doubt rises up and starts to show all the reasons why we should stay exactly comfortable where we are, because the other part is an unknown. We're not really certain about this, because maybe we've been somebody that has struggled a long time to want to grow, and you can see the vision, right? And when you close your eyes and you picture what it is that you're going to become, or what you would like to become, and you make the plans and you do all the stuff. And then when you actually take action for the first couple of days, you're all in and it's easy. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it could be the smallest triggers in self-doubt. And then you let that snowball. A huge fan of cartoons. So think about it like the Looney Tunes thing, right? You bump the little snowball, it starts rolling. Before you know it, you're getting plowed over and you're right back to where you started. And this is what happens, I think, for a lot of us on rinse and repeat, is there's this massive danger in your self-doubt, because what happens is that you allow your old thinking or your old self, you're living in a past version of yourself. And I want to clarify here, your past is your past, and that's okay. You're never truly going to, quote unquote, let go of your past. What you're going to do is understand that your past was just part of who you were, and that the real moment, which is right now, is what the past is meant for. It's how to learn from your past to apply it to your present moment so you can build your future self. And this is how you are constantly going to need to keep doing it. As your awareness rises, you adjust, you learn, you move, forgive yourself, learn you're going to make mistakes, and this is how you start to conquer this self-doubt. For me, a lot of things were reminding myself that things weren't true. I'm sure you can relate to this, where maybe something happens for me in the case of brain cancer, right? The slightest little thing at first would make me automatically go straight to, oh my God, it's growing again, right? It's not like a little leap, like, if I blinked and my contact rolled in my eye, rather than just logically going, my contact rolled, it would be like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Something's going on. My eye hurts. Like, oh God. And it goes straight to the worst parts. And we've kind of been trained that way, because I think what we're doing is we're constantly bombarded with this comparison trap. We're always looking for answers for something that doesn't need answers. It just is a thing. Instead, we have to tell ourselves stories. And what we allow ourselves to do is allow ourselves to have self-doubt come in and take the wheel from us. And we become a passenger in our life, being dictated to the fact that we are obsessed with trying to be perfect, and there is no such thing as perfect, as we've talked about before. I would much rather have an imperfect launch than do nothing. And I think a lot of times what that has happened for us is, you run into the obstacles and the challenges of overcoming your self-doubt, because it's not just you that is the issue, it's the people that you surround yourself with. So this is also what I mean by Stop playing where you don't belong. Stop shrinking to be in a space that you don't belong in anymore because you feel comfortable there, even though you know that you are growing to another version of yourself. I equate this very much to why 2 years later I'm still here. It's that I refuse to stop being that person that let the world happen to them. Instead, that things in the world are happening for me. And I started to open up to the idea that I was maybe wrong. I was a big one on blaming everybody else. And it was such and such did this to me, and this did this to me, and all these different things. But the truth was, it was me that was holding myself back. And it was the self-doubt that had its grips on me big time. And I knew that if I wanted to become a person that would go into remission from what I had to do things different. I had to step into that new world. Now, I will admit that when you have something, the diagnosis like I had, it's a little easier, right? Your motivation isn't so hard. But it could start out small, right? You don't have to go as extreme as I did. Maybe it is something where you're just trying to eat better. Well, stop buying this stuff. Remove the things from your life, right? If you're trying to grow to a new position, remove those people that are holding you back from where you want to go. I know it's uncomfortable, and I know that it just sucks. It sucks to really tell people that you just don't fit anymore. I mean, you don't really have to tell them. You just kind of remove yourself and figure out a new way to go. And the other part is getting around people that align with your growth. This one is a big one for me, because what I've realized in a lot of my exploration of me is that I have surrounded myself for a long time with takers. What I mean by that is people that have seen the potential that I want to have, right? Whether it be through books I write or illustrations or whatever it is, they see the passion there. And along with the passion, a lot of times, and especially being a creative, and I know that if we have creatives listen to this, you guys are going to understand exactly what I'm saying here, is that when somebody sees your passion, you're good at it. And it's going to look from the outside looking in that it doesn't take you much time. When it doesn't take much time, people lower the value of that. And they think that then all of a sudden your time is not worth anything, even though they don't realize that it took you a long time to get to that point. And what you need to do is start to align yourself with different people. I was aligned with takers. Every time I would do something that seemed amazing, all of a sudden, at the end of the day, I would be the one left holding the bag, kind of wondering, how did I get here? Thinking and trusting that other people were out for it, because in my mind, I equated hard work, I equated loving it and passion, and magic things happen. But just like everything in life, I'm not the only variable in what I was creating. There was other variables in there. And when I didn't pay attention to those things and I was misaligned with my true north of what I wanted to do, because I got blinded by just the desire to do it without paying attention to what actually my intentions were and what I was trying to do, and to police my thoughts, police the people I was around. And then the big one is to trust my gut when I knew that I was misaligned. And that's back to the self-doubt part, where you don't trust what you're telling yourself because maybe you think you're not worth it or whatever, but you are. And so aligning yourself with people that are already where you want to go, what you're going to find in that is that you're going to slowly start to crumble down your self-doubt. Because when you're around other people that are maybe where you want to go, you're going to find that they're the same as you. They went through the exact same struggles, maybe a different degree, maybe their trauma is different than yours, but whatever. They have been through something that is very similar to what you're struggling through right now. And they kind of act like a goalpost, right? It's kind of like when you're playing Mario Brothers and you get to the check-in spot. You don't restart at the beginning. You could start over halfway. That's a reference to anybody that's old school like me in the Nintendo world. But you can start over at a checkpoint. And when you're surrounded by people that are where you want to go, that doesn't mean that you're copying them or they're better than you because they're there. Most of the time what happens is, in my case, is they've got more time there, right? Their time equals knowledge, stuff I don't know. I can ask questions. Surround yourself with better mentors. asking questions of people that maybe you don't know, DMing people on social media that are maybe where you want to go, asking honest questions. And if it smells fishy and it doesn't feel right, then step away from it. Like, don't get yourself wrapped up into this same cycle. Because remember, if we're going to step up to the next level, we have to be willing to respect ourselves enough to walk away when we know that it's not there for us. So stop playing down and stop shrinking. And then one of the big exercises I want to really drive home that is really smart for you to practice is just taking a moment to reflect each day, whether it be before you go to bed or when you wake up. For me, it's both. And reflect on how far you've come. Just reflect on today's wins. Reflect on maybe something that you thought you couldn't do at one point in time, and how did you do it? Like, learn from yourself, become your own mentor, and realize that like all the stuff that you are telling yourselves, these stories and these things that seem so hard to overcome, you have been through these things before, and you will go through tough things again. But it's going through those things that builds up your persistence, your tenacity, your resilience. It'll make you stronger. It'll make you learn how to forgive yourself. It'll make you learn how to love yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's about getting to know yourself better. If you're looking for hope, stop looking outside of you. Everything that you are looking to achieve in your life already exists inside of you right now, but you're looking all over the place for somebody to swoop in and give you your answers. Stop playing low in your life, because the more lower you play in your life, the harder it's going to be for you to see the path in front of you that is laid there by you to evolve into the version of you that you want to be. You don't have to be perfect. Good is good enough, because a lot of times your version of good is somebody else's perfect. Everybody's looking for guideposts. And if you just share from your heart and you understand that everybody's in this struggle together, and you're willing to accept that you might be wrong sometimes, then all of a sudden you're going to find people find you, and you'll realize that you're not shrinking anymore, that you're actually stepping into an evolution of yourself, and other people are paying attention, even when you didn't know that they were. So I hope that helps. And I hope this provided you with the power up. And if it did, huge favor, share it, like it, let other people know that this is going on, because this is exactly how you could help me on my mission to do this, right? I'm here to serve you, give you information on my journey. If you could do me a huge favor and share it, like it, leave a review. This is how we're going to get noticed, and we start spreading it. And that's how we're going to make things happen. So I wish you guys all the best. Keep pushing forward and keep powering up.
Foxland Media. Think big.